Okay, so I want to discuss array and object in React. Array and object in React. For those of you that are new to React, React is simply a programming language that uses JavaScript and HTML, that combines JavaScript and HTML in writing codes. Which we call JXX, JavaScript XML. Okay. In React, in JavaScript files, you can enter the HTML tags. You can enter HTML tags in JavaScript. That is what React is all about. React will convert those tags, we convert it to what? HTML. So let's talk about array. Let's talk about array. Array is simply a container consisting of lists. Okay, it's a container that consists of list of items. So when you have a list of items, it is usually best to put them in an array. It's usually best to put them in an array, and the way array is being denoted is with a square bracket. We use square brackets to denote array. So if you want to write an array, you use a square bracket. And the items you want to put in the form of a list, you enter them inside this square brackets. Usually, array is assigned to a variable. Array is usually assigned to a variable. The variable could be constant variable, it could be a let variable, or a var variable. Constant variable, here you're simply talking about a variable in which the items are fixed. They do not change. They do not change their value. They don't change value. They remain the same throughout the life of the array. They remain the same. A constant variable can be updated. It can be updated. When I say updated, it simply means that you can add to the list of array. You can add to the list of array, but you cannot change the value that are already in that list. You cannot change the value in the list, but you can add to the list. Why a let variable can change? Okay, you can change the value of the list in the let variable. It varies, it can change. likewise a var variable. Also, the values of the list of the item can also change. The values changes, it varies. Now, like I said earlier on, array is usually assigned to a variable. So let's assign an array to a constant variable. Let's say a variable called fruits. Okay, let's say constant. So this is how a constant variable is written. This is how we write a constant variable. So the name of the variable, let's call it fruits. We say it is equal to a list of array. So let's say normally the fruits, okay, the lists are usually placed inside, the value of the list are usually placed inside inside double quotation mark. So let's say mango, let's say banana, let's say orange, let's say pop, 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 pop. Then you close the square bracket. So this is how an array is being expressed. This is how to write an array that is assigned to a fruit, a constant variable known as fruits. So this is what you need to know about an array. Like I said before, it is usually placed inside a square bracket. Okay, it is best to assign an array to a variable. It could be a constant variable, it could be a let variable, or it could be any of these variables. So in this case, I'm using a constant variable, and this is how it is expressed. The values of the item, the values of the item in the list are placed inside double quotation mark. These are facts that you need to know, or these are rules in React that you need to know. Firstly, a square bracket, then followed by the values of the list, the values of the items, okay, in the list, placed inside double quotation mark, separated by a comma. So this is it. Then we now talk about objects. So for an object is also a list, okay, can also be a list of items. Okay, it can also be a list of items, and it's also assigned to a variable as well. It can be assigned to a variable. Okay. Now, what you need to know about an object is that an object, okay, is also, the values are also placed inside double quotation mark, but the symbol that is used to denote an object is a curly bracket. curly bracket like this. A curly bracket like this is what is used in denoting an object. This is how we denote an object. Okay. Now, an object can also be assigned to a variable. It can also be assigned to a variable. So let's say we have a constant variable, fruit. Now, it will be assigned to let me see. So you have this. Should I use fruits? Let me see. Okay, let me use something else. Let me use book. You know, a book, you have the title of the book. So let's say title. Now you use colon for an object. You use colon, then the value of this title, let's say the rising sun. The rising sun. Okay. Then let's say the author. So author. So the author is let's say Johnson Machi. The page is let's say now for the page will be a number, but in React numbers are placed inside curly brackets. Numbers are placed inside curly brackets. Numbers and Boolean data types, they are placed inside curly brackets. So let's say 42. Then let's close the. So this is how an object is expressed in React. Okay. The curly bracket tells you that this is an object. Once you see the curly brackets and you see properties and their values, okay? In React, what we usually call key value. Key value. In React, this key is usually called property name. Property name. And it is written as props for short. So in React, this is called a property name, and this is the value of the property name. This is the value of the property name. Okay, this is the value. So the property name, then you have a colon followed by the value of the property name. So that is how an object is expressed in React. So in React, an object cannot be rendered. An object cannot be rendered in React. But you can log it to the console. It can be logged to the console, but it will not be, cannot be rendered. Then another thing is that an object, okay, the values or the properties of an object can be accessed. They can be accessed. What am I saying? Let's say we want to access title. We want to see the value of title. All we need to do is to say props, okay? In React, it has to be inside curly brackets. So we say props.book using the dot notation, .books.title. So this will give us, this will display the rising sun. That is how it works. The rising sun. So this is how it works. Okay. Having said that, then if we want to, let's say we want to access the page, it's going to be like this: properties.books.page. So this will give us the number 42. So this is how it works. So now let's go to the editor and see some of these things in real time.